how she get it. Made a couple racks, I never asked her how she get it. City girls love to have fun in the city. City girls love to have fun in the city. City girls love to have fun in the city. City girls love to have fun in the city.
Welcome to Connect with Christina, and to my right, you might know him, Jem Ray.
Hi, Christina.
And say hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
This is gonna be fun. First of all, did we chat this morning about our outfits?
No, but you know what? Great minds think alike.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why we're friends.
Right.
Well, this is gonna be fun because I've been a fan of yours for a while. We've been friends for a while.
Yes.
And when I think back of some of my funnest times, it's always somewhere in there. You're a part of it. Whether it's Firehouse, you remember?
Oh, wow. Yes. That was 11, 12 years ago.
Let's take it back. Jem, how long have you been in the industry?
So I've been in the industry for about 31 years. I started in high school at a very young age. And, this is my fourth market that I've been able to do things in. And I've been in Scottsdale, Phoenix for about 12 years now. And when we met back then, obviously I was brand new in town. And, it's been a very fortunate run for the last 12 years. And ironically, I got to catch the latter part of yours and Albert's segment. And so much true facts came out of there on the perseverance and how resilient people were over the last year and a half. So, yeah, it's, I've been in the game for a long time from all different aspects. I have 2 degrees from Le Cordon Bleu. I went to Ohio State. So I have a lot of background in that, but I've been able to work almost every different angle in this business, which is what I think gives me my qualities that I have today.
Where did you start off? Which area? Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like I said, I've done everything, from bartending, serving, working the door, DJing, security, everything in college. You do all that stuff. But in high school, ironically, a couple of my best friends in high school were in a very big band. It was a very popular band in high school. So I got a chance to crack the scene by doing Battle of the Bands in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
And I was 15 years old. But I learned, I knew what I liked. I really like the scene. Obviously, you have to be passionate to be in it this long. But yeah, so for me, marketing was always a thing for me. Operation and administration work is something that I was gifted with some of those talents. But, obviously, this as well as anybody else that knows me well. I'm always driven by marketing, the social media, the event planning, the event logistics. Those things come to me.
Making all the connections.
Yeah, absolutely. Connecting the dots is, I think, a very strong talent to have. And you can see that. I think that's even why you and I have been connected for so long and we're good at it. We have a lot of mutual contacts, a lot of good people. Mm-hmm. And I think that says a lot.
Of good people.
Yeah, the good people and the quality. I think good people stick with good people and talent stick with talent. But yeah, connecting the dots is something I love doing that because I know I started somewhere. And if people didn't connect the dots for me, I wouldn't be here today. So I try to do that for especially a lot of people that are aspiring in the business and people that are younger that I think will put the effort into it.
Right. So what club or bar did you start out here when I
first started here? Ironically, I think the first 3-4 places was the Crown Room, Cream Stereo Lounge, the Mondrian, and then eventually it became the Revolver, which I started working with those guys after 6 Lounge closed. So this is all 2009, 2010.
I like the Revolver.
It was
Revolver.
Awesome. It had a great run. It was definitely the place to be for 2 years. And a lot of doors opened up for me in the city between that and the Mondrian. And ironically, Cream and Crown Room, everything gave me a lot of handshakes. And I was able to showcase some of the things that we were able to do. But yeah, Revolver was definitely a 2-year run that was just the best of the best was in that room.
For fun, just to reminisce, let's bring up some of the other bars. You remember Access Radius, Mist?
Yeah.
What else?
Well, you had Suede, Smashbox, Dollhouse, American Junkie, Spanish Fly.
American Junkie.
So much. That opened up a lot of doors for me. I did my Ohio State football party there. I helped out with the Wednesday night, which was a great Wednesday night there. And then after a couple of years, a lot of opportunities opened up for me in that company because they also had PCL and Dirty Pretty. And ironically, I became partners with for them for some other concepts. But yeah, it's just that honestly, I still ironically just said it 2 days ago. American Junkie paved the way for so many concepts in this city. That high energy bar that Ryan Jock created, everybody basically kind of duplicated it with a little bit of a twist. That's just me being very straightforward on it.
Right.
But it's great. It works extremely well in Arizona, having open bars, patio driven. You know, we have 10 months of gorgeous business, gorgeous weather that creates that business. Yeah, so like it's very nostalgic to talk about that.
Right. I mean, it's crazy because you think about it and it's like then there's also Three Wise Men for you.
You know, and that was one of my concepts right now, and it has been closed since COVID. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I believe things happen for a reason. You know, unfortunately, there were some things that happened on the back end that I couldn't control. But regardless of that, obviously, we persevered. You know, we got a chance to get into 3 more concepts. And obviously, you helped me out at the beginning with the Golden Margarita. Ironically, this week is year 1. We finally hit 1 year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're going to do something big in a couple of weeks. I've just been kind of waiting for it. But like, you know, being able to navigate like that. And then also because of us, again, being so blessed in Arizona, that being an open state, open for business, you know, we had more lax rules when it came to the social distancing, the mask mandates. The government here did, I think, a great job of keeping us open. That created so many opportunities for us. You know, I myself, you know, I own Scottsdale Nights, and we do a lot of media for a lot of different businesses. And we absolutely were extremely busy during COVID. We picked up a lot of new accounts, even things that are completely outside of our realm just because of our database. And it kept my team busy. I'm extremely proud that I was able to keep my entire team busy during COVID, get them all paid. And then when I did open up the Golden Margarita, yes, things are crazy because of COVID. And there's a lot of back end issues when it comes to COVID, staffing, talent, and all the stuff that we're going to discuss. But like, I have 150 employees. And that's 150 employees. I know that's a little bit more than I probably should have, but I don't question that. I believe the karma will come back to the business, taking care of people, keeping them busy, keeping money in their pockets, their mental health. All those things are factors.
Yeah, it's all connected for sure. For sure. And my friend Crystal Salcido, she's a big fan of Golden Margarita. So you're going to have to say hi, Crystal.
Hi, Crystal. I love that. Yes.
Yeah, I'll have her come up to you. And, you know, by the way, Jam is one of the first restaurants that allowed City Vodka to come in. So thank you for that. You didn't have to do that.
You've done a lot for me. And I love your events and the way you place people together. So I think there's always going to be that synergy.
Yeah, I'm so thankful for that. And talk to us about Scottsdale Nights a little bit more. So when did you create this company? What is it about?
So I created it in 2009. I just got here. And there's a long story behind it. But ironically, just to kind of give the cliff notes on it, Scottsdale Nights was never supposed to be the name of the company. It was supposed to be Scottsdale 7. And there was another company I created called Wet Cuisine. And
they're all good names. My goodness.
I have a gift for that. But with that being said, the Scottsdale 7 was the idea because of 7 nights in Scottsdale. Mm-hmm. And then I created Scottsdale Nights to be kind of the dummy company and make my mistakes with and just kind of, build the relationships. But the name caught on. It was universal. It wasn't about a person. That's the kind of way I like to flow with it. I believe in teamwork. Mm-hmm. And then, it took off. Me moving into this city, I already had a massive network, but it was all about putting pieces together, learn who to work with, who to be strategic partners with, learn who to stay away from. All those things were a factor. And sometimes it takes up to like 3 years to learn a city. It took me about 3.5 years. And, but I learned in a very good way. I was very fortunate for the people that I did meet. And with that being said, the Scottsdale Nights brand and the name took off. And then right now, because it's, 10, 11 years deep in it, when it comes to analytics, Google searches and things as such, we do a really good job with that. So, our website, the ScottsdaleNights.com, it gets thousands of hits per day. And I get all these inquiries into my newsletter and / inquiries for bookings. Between that and our Facebook and our Instagram, right? So we get all of these inquiries from all over the country, all over Canada. And obviously Scottsdale, Phoenix is booming as a city. And now you're seeing a lot more of the East Coast coming here. And a lot more of the UK.
Eric Bernal's bringing them all.
Oh, he is. And he does a great job with that too. I love that. He got the New York coming in here.
Yep.
But, with that being said, you see it and we see it. And I love it because, even during COVID, when we were that open state and a lot of people just came here because we had created a different environment compared to all the states that couldn't, basically uphold those, we got a lot of first-time customers. Or some people that weren't really exposed to the scene that we have here.
Right. And they just can't get over it.
They can't.
No.
They're like, why are we going? And honestly, I've had people reroute from Vegas, San Diego, and some places that they're just used to because they're creatures of habit. And they're like, no, we're doing this. And then just recently, even the last month, my bookings from Australia and UK.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, I was like, this is a really good thing because a lot of those bookings for me personally come from my hosts in Miami and Vegas because those are more of the places to go when it comes to those people coming into the country, right?
Right.
LA, San Francisco, Las Vegas, Miami, New York. But now Scottsdale and, again, going back to spring training, again, going to the halo effect of the Phoenix Suns. The Cardinals are good again. I mean, there's a lot going on. And obviously, this from your fields. The real estate market here is phenomenal. And people are making all types of investments for the next 20, 30 years,
Right, for the long haul.
That goes also for hospitality. For me, I'm very, very driven right now to expand. I've been expanding a lot in the last year. A lot of that probably will come into fruition in the next 2 years. But it's just a matter of, grinding it out every single day and figuring out what options there are.
And I think it's interesting that, you've been doing it for 30 plus years, whatever. But even in, the 12 years that you're talking about, it's like you're transitioning people, because people grow up, like people will turn 21 and then the next year, a new batch, you know what I mean? So like for the people because they phase out, but like for us, since we're friends, I know how much you grind and you don't stop grinding.
Yeah. And it's awesome that you say that. And even ironically, a couple days ago, I had a group of my Ohio State fraternity brothers roll into town. And we were 18, 19 years old, but I'm their guy, not just for this city, but other stuff. And now watching the way we used to book things for people 10 years ago versus now, obviously there's a difference in frequency, the nature of the event. But for me, I got very fortunate because, a lot of the people that are not in the nightlife scene anymore or not in the hospitality scene, they're very family driven or they're just, honestly in a different wavelength, which is perfectly great. But if anytime they have a company anniversary party or they have their own personal anniversary or they just need that dinner reservation, I'm still their guy or my company's still their contact.
Right.
I know that's why we're doing it for the right reasons. I had a close friend of mine that was a very good, influential person in Scottsdale, left here about 10 years ago, and they moved to Denver and doesn't go out, doesn't visit. He's very driven in his medical sales company, but anytime he has a contact, he messages me right away.
Yeah.
And that to me means the world because he would never have to do that. He's not driven by incentives or commissions or things like that. He just knows that I'll take care of his people the correct way. Those people
will be happy.
Yeah. And that drives me a lot. And I try to teach that, especially to the younger people, because it is a very finicky business.
Well, and our nightlife, though, for sure, it's like magical.
Yeah.
Because even like certain areas, like the big cities that you say, we're right there. We do such a good job. Our hospitality is insane. Taking care of people.
You're 100% right. And even just the things of how our bottle service presentations, things that are very new aged, kind of edgy. Yeah. But you're right. And I've made this comment many times and I'll stick to it, between certain pockets of areas in this city, especially in Scottsdale, that Old Town area, there's a lot of talent there and talent drives each other. They're very competitive. We all know that. And, I'm fortunate that I work with everybody down there. That's one thing that I'm very proud of too. But, when you look at the Riot House, the El Jefe's, Whiskey Rose, Bottle Blondes, Casamigos, Hi-Fi, those companies, Boondocks, all these places that are down there, they do such a great job that again, going back to what other people, and especially during COVID, because people started traveling here for the first time, they were in shock.
Yeah.
They're like, you guys have 50% capacity on a Thursday? Because, I've been hosting the Thursday night of Bottle Blonde for 7 years, and that's an easy sell for me. That's a great brand. And it's just, I'm like, yeah.
And now they're building up.
They're building up, they're
floor.
expanding, and you see that with the other businesses too. That actually shows you a lot of the potential that I'm talking about, because between Chicago, everything in Texas, Florida now, all these Scottsdale concepts are going into other cities instead of vice versa. You're definitely going to have the corporate companies and the large chains coming into some of our premium retail spots. Mm-hmm. We all kind of know how those lands kind of operate, but you're seeing more and more of our places going into other areas. And I don't think that's stopping. If anything, that effect is definitely snowballing.
Yeah. I mean, even like our Taco Tuesdays is out of this world. You can go to Diego Pops or Montauk and it's not just a restaurant, it's a vibe. It's like energy.
And that's exactly correct. You're right. Taco Tuesday. And again, I think we're just so spoiled in Arizona. We love our tequila. We love our tacos. And you see that. And even like for me, like when I do my wing specials, people are driven by that stuff, but they know they're not just getting their 50-cent wings at the Golden Margarita. There's, there's ambiance, there's energy, there's music.
And now you have the comedy thing with Eric. On what days are those?
And he rocks it. That kid, everybody always talks about, we're all Scottsdale guys, and I get it. We always are driven that way. But for Eric to do what he did there, what we do down in downtown Phoenix, in our first concept in downtown, we've brought a lot of energy down there. A lot of good people, a lot of good quality people, a lot of quality events. And Eric now in week 7, tomorrow's going to be week 8. I watch these things, and obviously I encourage him, and he does such a great job because obviously he's a good person and he's talented, and people are drawn like that.
Right. It's the basis for sure.
Yes, and then you add the incentives of the margaritas, the tacos, selling points for him, and he's very good at driving that because again, I told him this as a friend, and this is literally a conversation we've had a couple times. Like, you have so much potential. Because the way you carry yourself, the way you treat people.
He's so humble.
Yeah, and he's just, you smile when you see him.
Yeah.
I mean, I just saw him outside here before I walked in, and I started laughing with him in the middle of the street, right? So that says everything. And you're right. Between us being creative with that stuff and creating that energy, because I think that's one thing about, me, I was in LA before I came to Scottsdale. We're always good about creating that ambiance of why that customer needs to come back the second and third time. Mm-hmm. We're not just about the flash in the pan. Let that person walk in one time and walk out.
Right.
Obviously, you're going to always deal with the nuances of the business. There's always going to be people griping about certain things. And honestly, a lot of the complaints and a lot of the discrepancies have been times 10 during COVID. People are on edge.
Right.
And you might wait 4 seconds longer for a drink, but again, they don't know what we're dealing with on the back end.
Right.
We have all the staffing issues. The talent pool is terrible. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, people that are resilient are always going to keep going through it. Mm-hmm. But again, it's one thing that I think between a lot of people in this business, the ambiance that Phoenix, Scottsdale has created for nightlife and hospitality, even the hotels and the way the hotels are laid out, the restaurant concepts that are in the hotels.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And I think honestly, just since we're talking, I think if we add a couple more casinos, I think we're going to be rocking
like
this
our
town.
Caesars Hotel coming up soon.
That's awesome. So with Caesars and a name brand like that coming through, that's going to create an effect.
I wonder what's going to happen to that Old Town area though. Like, are they going to, do they keep it there? Do we move it? Do you know? Or are you allowed to say?
I don't even want to say.
And Wes is outside, Justin, by the way.
But it's just like the situation with that, I've heard a lot of rumors, and obviously COVID created a lot of rumors. Mm-hmm. You can't go into the rumors. You have to just keep doing it. I think that there is plenty of options of creating more pockets.
Right.
We already kind of have it. It just goes back to the talent pool too, and how you're driving the areas. You have the entertainment district that does well in Scottsdale. You still have areas like Mill. You still have areas like Westgate and other areas that have
Westgate.
Yes,
that's another one.
Then they rock it. They rock it for the concerts, and then they rock it for the obviously the Cardinals games and other bigger things that are in that facility. But again, it goes back to how I think all the businesses drive those areas. To kind of answer your question, I think there's going to be more pockets getting built for other areas to create that entertainment vibe. It could be 6 concepts. It could be 20. I've heard all the rumors, and I'm very interested.
Yeah.
Because, one thing I think also we're good at is directional traffic of sending people where we need to send them.
Yeah. I mean, our land's like endless.
Yes.
We can just keep, and then we're not even building up. We're building out, you know? So it's like, I don't know. I know I live here. I'm biased, but I swear, I think Arizona is like the best. So that said, we also have the best looking women in Arizona, in Scottsdale specifically, especially. But everywhere.
We do.
Yeah. And so you should shout out your bottle girls and everyone in the nightlife.
I mean, they see it on my Instagrams. I definitely give them a lot of shout outs. We've got definitely some gorgeous people in this state.
Yep.
Love the ladies and men. They, in general, they like to take care of themselves.
But also the service though. Like I travel a lot and I'm not even going to tell you what city I was just at, but the service in Arizona, like the hospitality, and I'm Filipino. So I'm all about that. Human connection, and I feel like our service industry does a great job of taking care of people.
They are our point of attack or our point of, touching the tables and stuff, definitely very strong. And again, that's something that we also take for granted before COVID, because you can see how much staffs have changed in the last year. Some of the people that were in there for a long time have gone on to other things.
Yeah.
But, again, respectfully, I say it, the talent pool has definitely thinned out a lot, but we're still a lot better compared to our competitive markets, because you can still see that. And people do comment on that. And you're right, because you are very well traveled and you see that from that angle too. But kudos to everybody on that one.
I think you're the best person to remind people about respect and respecting like the service industry, like the employees, your bartenders, your barbacks. They go through a lot. I mean, we're out there having fun, but they're grinding, they're working, you know what I mean? And like remind people on tipping, like we should not be under tipping because, we're being rendered service. That's like hard work.
It is, and everything has changed on the back end from pay scale compared to profit. Your profits that your margins are at, because you have to have extra employees. People like, hey Jem, why is your payroll so high? I'm like, I have 5 people just chasing people around to wear masks. I have also people making sure everything's sanitized. I have 2 people walking around just wiping things down every 15 minutes. Just to play the part when it comes to making sure everything is clean and appropriate. But yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, the people that have been working, and I truly believe in that karma too, the people that worked hard during this time, they're going to be in a pretty good position for, I think, other things.
Well, and when we're out there, having fun or whatever, I think like one of my pet peeves is when, I see other people treat the service people like they're beneath them. And well, that's never okay in any case. But, when I see that, I get upset because let me tell you, some of your bartenders, your bottle girls, they're now, some of them are very successful realtors, commercial and, whatever. Just don't treat people like that. And especially because you're out there having fun and they're like catering to you.
100%. I think there's always going to be some people.
It's like a stepping stone, right? I mean, like you go through that and then now you might be a doctor, you might be a lawyer.
Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah. And regardless, you don't treat people that way. So
you never
when
should.
I see that, it's like, hey.
Yeah, I do see that ugly side too, and especially when people are intoxicated dealing with somebody that's sober, or they don't realize the tolerance that person has been dealing with, because you might be walking in at 10 o'clock for your table, but that person's already been working for 6 hours.
Right.
Dealing with
and then you're not going to tip?
That's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah. So, with that being said, always take care of them. That's what they're working for. Their hourly wage is differently, And for me, that's one thing that, again, going back to something I said a little bit earlier, I was extremely happy employing all those people and making sure that I was also bringing them business.
Right.
That's one thing that I know that I have a very type A mentality, but it's like I bring a lot of business to make sure people are making the money too. So you're not just quarterbacking it from a table or an office desk.
Right.
You know?
And I mean, and you can probably validate my point. It's like you've seen, again, it's that transition because you've stayed in it so long. You know, you've seen these bar backs become bartenders, then manager, then whatever else, you know, or outside of the field. But I mean, they make something of themselves and you've seen that.
Oh, yeah, especially because I think the people that have those qualities that are driven and do honest, good work, you've seen it. I've seen it. The GMs and the partners now of Old Town, the same guys that I grew up with. We're all promoting together.
Right.
You know, and there's a reason we're kind of still circling around each other.
There's another face in Old Town that I think we all love, and that's Face.
Yeah.
We just saw Face the other day. Like, you know, he's like that lovable guy that's just, he's never going to go anywhere. We hope. Right. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're out there and you're out having fun, like, please be respectful to the bartenders and all the staff, waiters, everyone, because no one's better than anyone. We're all equal.
For sure. Yeah.
So thank you for being here, Jem. Please remind everyone how to get a hold of you, how to book tables, whatever else that you can accommodate people with, how to find you.
Yeah.
What you have coming up.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate you saying that. The Instagram handles are Gemray Media, GEMRAY Media, and then at Scottsdale Nights. And then the website is obviously www.scottsdalenights.com. And then obviously, you know, if you go through Facebook, you could just Google search those words, or Facebook search those words is what I meant to say, and you'll find our outlets. We're pretty easy to find in that sense, and we're pretty responsive when it comes to that. And thank you for having me. This was a wonderful experience.
So even for private events, right? They can get a hold of you?
Absolutely.
Like
Private events, holiday events, off-premise events. It's all the above.
Private.
Yeah. You know, like, for example, I got the Polo Championship coming up. You know, that's one of the Arizona's best events. I'm helping them broker, VIP tables at the party tent. I'm also selling tickets. Polo Championship is something that I've been fortunate to be promoting for 10 years with Jason Rose, for Jason Rose. And then I also do Phoenix Fashion Week with Brian Hill. And all these people, like, I've got my hands in some really good events for these guys. And, we are a very good contact when it comes to that, because we always give you kind of the straight answer and no runaround. And then again, when that comes to the nightlife and the hospitality and the culinary aspects of all over town, I mean, we have affiliate programs with 125 restaurants, about 120 hotels, resorts.
It's crazy.
Obviously, we're probably in every single club or any bar club that you'd want to go to. Things like that. Yeah, we definitely have that. And then obviously the other factor that a lot of people don't know is if you ever need marketing for your company, any awareness, brand awareness, exposure, leads, or whatever it is.
Yeah, we'll put that out too for you. Justin will put it up here. But to everyone, if you want to try City Vodka, go to Golden Margarita.
Yes.
Jem, thank you for being here at Connect with Christina, a.k.a.
Clout God.
There you go.
City